Okay, hello everyone. I'm going to show you the editing of this picture from beginning to the end. Okay, I'm going to show you how to edit this picture from beginning to end. This is raw, so I'm going to show you. For some of you that want to learn, I'll be showing you how I edited it from beginning to the end. So if you are ready, let's get into it. So the first thing I do whenever I pick up an image is to first of all go to the raw. I always like shooting on raw. I told you you can always shoot on raw, always raw, always. So now this is ISO 100 f2.2, shutter speed of 1/200, as you can see it here. So I'm going to go to highlight, turn down the highlight, increase the shadow a little, then look at the image. If I'm okay with it, I can decide to maybe increase the exposure. Can increase the exposure. Okay, can increase the exposure, then zoom in again to see. Can increase the exposure. Okay, you see? Okay, all right. Now the next thing to do is go to the color mixer. I'm going to go now. I may decide whichever way I want this color to look like. If I want more green, I'm going to add more green, but because we don't want too much green in our picture, we are just going to turn off the greens, leave the blue, and then adjust the aqua. Whether we should increase the aqua. Okay, let's increase the aqua a little. Then we'll go over to our greens. If we want it more green, we turn it. So this thing, you know, I've told you before that you are the one to decide which way you want your image to look. If you want it to have the green, you can decide to add the green. If you don't want the green, you can leave the green, whichever way you want it to be. So after that, I will observe again, look at the picture critically, and then decide if I need to. All right, okay, I think I should be okay with this now. You know, I'm not targeting overexposed image, so that's why I'm not increasing the exposure too much. All right, so we are good to go. I will open it from here so you guys can see. I know a lot of people ask questions. How do you edit your image? How do you come about the dark background and all that? This is the process. So the first thing I do is that I choose, I'm going to go to duplicate layer into 3. This is retouching class. I've not done fully. I'm going to do this fully. So I'm looking at her skin here. From her skin here, I'm going to, because you remember I told you I don't like over editing image. So I'm going to be using 5.0 for this skin because I don't want to over edit the image. I want to have the image looking natural. So I'm going to go to this now, go to image, apply image, then multiply, put it to subtract, then go to this, remove the to layer 1. As you can see, all the thing offset, everything like this, then linear light, then I'll use my lasso tool, fade out at 8, then select. So I press Control Alternate. I'll press Control Alternate F to bring out this thing for the blur, and increase it a little to maybe 9.2. Remember, I told you I'm not targeting to edit this image to look all fake. I just want the natural look, because if you look at the look, if you look at the appearance of this girl, you see that the girl is looking natural. So there's no need to apply artificial softening, too much skin softening to her skin. So all we have to get here is to still make her look, get her looking natural and then beautiful, as you can see. So I told you I don't do the over editing. All I want is just simple result with what I'm doing. So as you can see, this is what we are going to do. I'm going to select and then work on these hands briefly. I'm going to do it together so we can be fast. And then here we are done with the retouching. We are done with the skin retouching. So now the next thing is to color grade this image. There are so many ways you can color grade this image. Like I said, I'm going to go to the process. I'm not going to be using load, so I'm going to be looking for the colors to use here. So for this, I'm going to apply okay, let me use this. So I'm going to be using this. So after this, I will decide if I want, this is Fuji F125 Kodak. You can see that I'm going to reduce the opacity a little, then collapse it. All right, you can see that what I'm doing here, what I'm doing here is what we have in the Photoshop. There's nothing else I'm using. So look at how the image is looking now. I'm still going to go over to this image now and select horror blue. By selecting horror blue, look at how it has changed this image. So I'm going to reduce the opacity, and here we go. So the next thing to do is the eyes. So I'm going to turn the eyes to, I told you how this is Control M for curves. So I'm just going to go to gradient map, select the black and white, and then I can decide to reduce the opacity of the eye sharpening if eye whitening if I want. Then the next process is to do my sharpening of skin to make it sharper and better. So I'm going to go to filter, order high pass. Like I've told you, this is what I use for my high pass, and then linear light, and here we are. So here we have the image. So if you, like I said, you can decide how you want your image to look. If you want it to look darker, I can decide to make this image darker by roughly selecting this. Remember, there is no rule. It is you, your mind. Whatever you think, that's the way your image will come out. Whatever you think about it, that's how your image will come out. So this is it. So I will now feather it to, let's say, 45. And then I'll go to curves, levels, and then make this darker a little. Then still go over to the loot we used before, and then apply the loot we used before. Can I use this? No, I'm not going to use this. I'll change this setting. I'll delete it now. I'll go to use another loot. Like I said, you use another loot. Now I'm going to use another loot. I can use the same horror blue again and reduce the opacity of the horror blue to make the background become a little more darker than before. And here you have the image now and after. I hope this helps someone to become a pro in retouching a natural picture. All right, thank you. We are good to go.